Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, Meghan Markle, what have you done? She's had a rare fashion failure as she landed in Tonga today. She wore a beautiful, flowy red dress, which mirrored the colour of the Tongan flag. It's gorgeous. But eagle-eyed royal fans spotted a problem with the outfit. It still had the label on. I mean, come on. She's married into the royal family. Surely there's someone to notice it, to double check, to just snip the little label off a dress, you'd think, wouldn't you? Although, I mean, I do have my suggestion here that maybe she was thinking she won't get to wear it again as her pregnancy belly gets bigger. And so maybe she was going to just take it back after one wear. No, of course, no woman has ever done that before. I don't know how the idea popped into my head. It's ridiculous, of course. At least her fashion faux pas wasn't quite as embarrassing as Judy Finnegan's at the NTAs several years ago now, and yet we can all still remember it.
It's all gone.
Sorry about that.
No, one last thing. If you vote for us next year, she'll show you both of them. Thank you.
And she can always rely on husband Richard to not save her in any way. We'll talk about fashion faux pas. If you've got one to share, by the way, I would love to hear it this morning. Free phone number 0800 145 6161. You can text me as well, 81333. Start your message with the word Derby. I have my own to share, which involves a tea towel. I will share that in a moment. But first of all, let's just get to the bottom of how on earth this happened in the first place for Meghan Markle with the one and only, the Royal Butler, Grant Harrold. Good morning.
Good morning, Mum.
Oh, I love it when you're on. I just need you to say that to me every morning, Grant, and then everything will be well with the world.
Absolutely. Some more tea, Mum?
Oh, I could get used to this. Now, seriously, though, I mean, surely, and, you know, in your vast experience of working for the royal family, with members of the royal family, I mean, Grant, you would have spotted that, wouldn't you, straight away? You wouldn't have allowed her out with that?
The thing is, you would just kind of hope somebody might spot it, but the reality is there's so many other things going on at the time. There's obviously going over the schedules, what's going to be happening. It's one of those little details that can be overlooked, and I know a lot of people will say it shouldn't be overlooked and somebody should have noticed, but the reality is they're human and mistakes happen. If I had been there, would I have spotted it? I'd like to think I would have spotted it. I was always quite proud of something wasn't quite right. I've been able to notice that. I'm still like that. In fact, I noted something recently that somebody had done, and I very discreetly pointed out to them, because I think rather than let an
What was it, Grant? What was that?
Well, it was basically I was at an event, and a gentleman walked into the room, and very obviously his fly was down. And you could see one or two people already starting to notice, and I felt really embarrassed. And I was thinking, now, how's the best way to deal with this? Obviously, from the etiquette point of view. So I went over to him, and he extended his hand, so we shook hands, and then I whispered in his ear, "Please forgive me, but I just thought you need to know that I believe your fly may be down." And at which point he immediately, of course, looked and was like, and disappeared for a second, came back into the room, found me, and came over and said, "I can't thank you enough."
Oh.
So, because it wouldn't have been fair not to say something. And it's the same with ladies. I do the same. If I notice a lady might have had makeup malfunction, wardrobe malfunction, anything, you really do have to say, but don't make a big scene and dance. You're not suddenly getting a microphone and announcing it. And likewise, as I've seen some people do, we don't take pictures of the malfunction, post it over social media, and then tell the person, "Oh, by the way, I have let the world know, but at the same time, did you notice that your skit's tucked in at the back?" or something.
Oh, come on though, Grant. You get loads of likes for that, don't you?
I'm sure you do. But I think the conscience would kind of play on my mind. So I think you've got to, go the higher ground and let them know. And then possibly then have a discussion with them about if you can post that picture online.
or what? I mean, we know what the answer is going to be to that. So how about we take the photo discreetly, then we go over to them discreetly to say you might want to know, and then we just post it later on.
Well, you can. It's the same with. It's a funny one, because it's the same with when you have pictures of a kind of embarrassing or funny situation. It's always best, whatever it might be, including a wardrobe malfunction, it's always best just to let the person know, because if you want to go back to that event, or you might see that person again, and you don't really want to be known as somebody that goes around kind of taking the funny pictures, and no matter how good it might be for the Instagram or the Twitter, I think it's safer to as I say, have a discussion. If they think it's quite funny and they'll say, oh, you must post that, then great. It depends
Fair
how bad
enough.
the malfunction is.
Yeah.
Where I think what happened to the Duchess is not that serious. It is, of course, it's slightly embarrassing, but at the end of the day, as I said, they're human, and we've all done it. In fact, I recently... I like to think I get things right, but I recently went to an event and I had a new suit, and I discovered that the label was still on the sleeve of the suit. And I was walking round and nobody said anything. And somebody eventually did say to me, are you aware there's a label? And I kind of looked down, I looked back, and I said, it's just to remind me where I got it from.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done.
And then raced off into the gents' loos to quickly try to cut the label off.
It happens to us all. I think everybody's got a story. Great advice though on the whole, because I think a lot of us would kind of giggle away in the corner. We spotted it. Oh, they look so daft and they've no idea. But actually, that's so unfair, isn't it? Because what we should be thinking is, if that was me, wouldn't I want someone to point it out to me?
Exactly.
And that's exactly why, isn't it?
And you really would. And it doesn't matter who it is. And even if it's a royal, if you're face-to-face with a royal and likewise what's just happened, you've noticed something's not right, never be afraid of saying to somebody, please forgive me. And it's saying please forgive me because it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing for you, it's embarrassing for them, it's embarrassing for everyone. So it's saying it in a way where you're bit discreetly. That's the big thing, is doing it in a way that other people don't know you're saying it. And if it comes to it, you've even got to write it down on a piece of paper, or write on a piece of paper and give them that piece of paper.
I still wonder whether she's on about taking it back, to be honest, because she's not going to get much wear out of it, is it, with her growing bump?
This is true. But then again, she might do what her sister-in-law's done, and even the Queen's done, we will re-see it being reused again. But I'm sure if it is, the next time there won't be a label on it. I can almost guarantee it.
I mean, there are plenty of people, as you say. There are lots of people with various jobs to do everything. I mean, I've heard to the extent, and I mean, as someone who has formerly worked for Prince Charles, maybe you can confirm this for us, Grant. I've heard that there are people who are given the task of actually putting the toothpaste on the toothbrush.
Do you know, I remember hearing about this, reading about this years ago, and all I can say is Castlewood turning his grave. Can you imagine, one of the butlers putting toothpaste on a toothbrush or anything like that? I've never heard of this. I've never seen it. I think, I'm sorry to say, it's an urban myth. And it's also safe to say that the butlers wouldn't even go upstairs. The butlers are, our domains in the pantries and the dining rooms of any household. So I think somebody obviously spun a little legend there that I'm sure it'll carry on as a little legend, but I'm sorry to say I don't believe there's any.
Maybe it came from, maybe there was one time where Charles had a few too many, had a bit of a skinful, couldn't quite get the balance right of getting the toothpaste on the toothbrush. We've been there, Grant. He's human.
I've been there once or twice in my life, I must confess. But I would probably love somebody to put the toothpaste on my toothbrush. But the only problem is, it eventually, I'd take so long to get to it, it would start running down the sides. It would make a mess of the sink, and then I've got to start cleaning the sink.
Oh, it's a mess.
Then you need a housekeeper to clean up the mess. And it goes on and on.
when that toothpaste gets stuck on, I mean, you need a chisel to get that off. We don't want that, do we? Yeah.
But do you know you can use toothpaste to clean some chrome? I use it to clean my bathroom taps sometimes. If I haven't got anything else, I'll use some toothpaste. It's very good at buffing them up. One of those old tricks.
I love that. So you put the toothpaste in what? You get
an old toothbrush and a bit of toothpaste and just brush around your chrome taps, and it just takes off any gunk and muck off them. It's quite a good little trick, especially if you're in a rush and you haven't had a chance to go and get some of the kind of traditional or modern cleaning products. It's a quick way of just giving them a quick little. But for goodness sake, don't use the same toothbrush that you use for your toothpaste or your partner's toothbrush. I'm going to have so many letters coming in from all the partners and husbands and wives saying to me, I've had an argument, they've been using my toothbrush to clean the tap.
Although if you're going through a divorce, then, you know...
Well, that's a whole entire different situation, isn't it?
Oh, Grant, it's always lovely to talk to you. Thank you. And I love
Likewise.
that tip with the toothpaste. We're all going to try that now. Grant,
I know, but just a little bit, not too much, otherwise
Not
we'll
too
have
much.
foam coming out of everything.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We'll be cursing you, won't we? Grant, lovely to talk to you. Take care. We will no doubt
Likewise.
speak to you soon. That's Grant Harrold, the Royal Butler, with some top cleaning tips for those chrome taps as well. Got it all covered. So any fashion faux pas then? Oh, I've got to tell you, Mel.